Well, hello, my beautiful Leo. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your career and money reading for mid-April right through to mid-May 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings, and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. I'm going to cleanse your space hourly, so please be mindful. There's going to be 3 loud sounds. Let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Leo, this is your career and money reading. I'm going to get all of your cards first before I connect to an outcome. So let us begin. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Leo? What do they need to know regarding their career and money situation at this time? Can you please show them the way? What can they expect in the future? What do they need to know? So your first card there is unchanged. So this is your protagonist energy. So you are doing what you are doing right now, but that's the energy you're coming into this reading with. So it can indicate nothing has changed. You know, you're in the same position. It's business as usual, whatever position that is. Now we have the biker there as well, and we have the universe. So there is an energy here of you looking at the bigger picture. You've got 7 as well. So there will be change, okay? But the protagonist energy is basically like things are ticking over as they are right now. So it can be that you're in a period of surveying where you feel like you're at, but I do see that you're enduring a situation where perhaps there's a certain set of rules or regulations or tasks or responsibilities that you do all the time, a repetitive energy there. So I do see that, you know, you will be focusing on tasks or responsibilities over the coming weeks where, you know, it's the same old thing, but you may actually look at how you approach them and try and kind of like transform them in a different way. Now, the 7 of Swords is interesting in this position because the biker is all about being independent. It's about being self-assured, going off on your own, solo, to perhaps launch something. Some of you may even be working really hard to be a little bit more nomadic in your circumstances. What I can see here, there is an energy of you wanting to do something or wanting to launch something, maybe a side hustle, maybe a creative endeavor, something that's been on your mind, and it's something that you do solo, or it's something that you kind of like focus on your own. And I feel this is something that will bring you lots of prosperity and good news in the future, is what I see. But your 7 of Swords in your protagonist energy, it indicates that you want to be a little bit more independent in your working circumstances. So, you know, if you work in an environment where you feel judged or there's a clique or you feel micromanaged in some way, I definitely feel that things are going to remain the same at this time. I hate to give you that message, but I do see that in the future, there will be a review period where this person, if anyone is singling you out or if there's any micromanaging going on there, they'll be singled out for a review, and this person may actually leave, is what I'm seeing. But let's bring the energy back to you right now. The Queen of Wands indicates you're in a state of receptivity. So you're trying to live your passions. I definitely see here that you're focusing on your finances. We have the 9 of Swords in the resistance position. That's a really good position for it to be in. You're trying not to worry about any changes. So there may be even a new person who comes into your industry to shake things up a little bit. Some of you, that person may even be you, doing something really maverick, bold, and daring to transform your finances or even make your mark in the industry that you work in. So let me just tap into all of your energy when the cards pop out. We have the 3 of Cups there, something to celebrate for sure, and the Wheel of Fortune, a nice lucky surprise. Sometimes things remain the same because the universe is aligning you with something, and you know, it is no accident that you've got the universe card here and the Wheel of Fortune. this indicates your outcome position. You know, anything that's here is your protagonist energy. This is everything that you're going through right now, and anything that you may feel is against you at this moment in time, or anything that you have on the back burner. And of course, the outcome energy is how things are going to work out for you. So there is a turn of events where things change for the more positive and of course more prosperous. There could be a sudden opportunity that comes your way, or I mean, we've got 3 of Cups there and a 6 of Cups. Some of you are revisiting a plan or revisiting something that you've put on the back burner or you've been thinking about, mulling over at this time, and this project is something that you're absolutely going to love. So I'm seeing a light bulb right now. A lot of you brainstorming new ideas. My guides are giving me, you are a bright spark, okay? So you're very intelligent, but you've had an idea already. And this is something that you'll be nurturing over the next coming weeks. So you may be doing something typical or usual, almost like on autopilot, because the 7 of Swords can be that, you know, you have logical things that you need to do right now. You know, you're under pressure. A lot of you are exhausted, but you're surveying the things that you need to connect to at this time in order to make a difference in your career. So either, you know, depending on the industry that you work in, for example, it could be that you're like launching something on the side, or you are going to get some sort of news in your industry that you really celebrate. A lot of you are really trying to work towards being more independent financially, is what I see. But let's tap into the energy. I want you to be aware you're going to be successful in that. Okay, that's definitely something that's coming out there. Now, for those of you who have currently been out of work, 7 of Swords, for some of you, definitely unfair energy there. I do see a new role coming on in. The 9 of Swords can indicate some of you, you know, you're trying to have faith, but the job market is really challenging at this moment in time. And, you know, I do see that the universe will provide. There is an opportunity to come in. Now, I'm getting 2 opportunities here. One is, I get an energy where you may join a company because it's like a family feel, but it's almost like something that you used to do, because the 7 of Cups can indicate tasks or responsibilities, something that you used to do, for example. And I feel, you know, you'll really fit right in, and this is a very prosperous role. And you know, a lot of you with that Page of Cups, it's a starter salary. It can be that, you know, you get a lower salary at first, but then it will increase over time. So I want you to be aware of that. If you're currently out of work, there is definitely some sort of news coming on in, but I have to be honest, I feel it's more into May, okay? It feels like the beginning of May that you'll hear about this. Now, this could be that you go up for a position or you're interviewing in April, but you actually get the news that you got it, because we got that 3 of Cups, which is something to celebrate. There are some really great news coming on in, and it's more than just luck. You're someone who is super talented, gifted, and perfect for this role. Now, the other energy I was getting is that some of you are going to return to an idea that you had, and it's bubbling up, formulating, and you know, you could launch this as an independent venture, being your own boss or doing something maverick. It's almost like you're looking at what people need at this time and saying, you know what, I think this is something that people would like. So I definitely see here a lot of you are kind of like exploring 2 avenues right now. And this could be 2 avenues in terms of finance, okay? Now, for some of you, if you've come to this reading just to like find out about your finances, you know, especially if you're retired, for example, we got the 7 of Swords. There has been some shady things going on right now. 7 of Swords can be something that's been a little bit challenging, or perhaps it's like someone doing something really like maverick and different and challenging the status quo, and it's had some sort of like ripple effect, okay? With the Queen of Wands, I feel like you are someone who is not going to compromise quality in life, but looking at the energy, the 6 of Cups, some of you may review a budget, or you may be kind of like looking at different ways of like conserving your finances. I actually see that you are someone who's super talented, and I feel a lot of you in this freedom can do something creative, because this is a card of creativity, following your passions. So even, you know, if you're retired and you're worried about your 401k or your pension at this time, I actually see a lot of you not really needing to be worried, because the 9 of Swords is in a resistance position. I want you to be aware of that. So that's really positive. However, some of you are doing something really creative, something that you used to do a long time ago. It could be art. I mean, for some of you, because we have the biker there, it could be literally connected to motor vehicles, or it could be, you know, some sort of courier energy. For some of you, it could be art, as I mentioned. It could be something related to music or writing a book, something that you enjoy or used to enjoy. You could actually make money out of this, and it could bring you in passive income. So I just want you to be aware, though, the Wheel of Fortune indicates there is some sort of like counterbalance to what is going on right now. So I do see with that Six of Cups, things will stabilize, things will balance, and I feel things will be maybe even a little bit more prosperous in the future. Now, you know, I'm not picking up on any particular country or any kind of like demographic which may be dealing with any like financial problems regarding 401ks or pensions. You know, I'm just giving you the energy that I can see right now, and I see that there is a turn where things, you know, return to a stable position. Of course, the Wheel of Fortune can represent sometimes things are up and sometimes they're down. So, you know, 401ks, pensions, they tend to be connected to like the stock market, for example, but there will be a slight recovery. I want you to be aware of that. That's what's coming up in the cards in this specific reading right now as I'm doing this, okay? So with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to move away from that. For the rest of you, there is an energy here who I can pick up on, and it's a majority energy where, you know, you are like in business mode, business as usual. I mean, this card literally says at this time, the situation is stable and unlikely to change. Okay, so with the Wheel of Fortune, I feel some of you, there is going to be a slight change, but a fortunate one. So I feel like you're adding to whatever it is that you're doing right now. Some of you are really like in a position where you are working really hard. I feel a lot of you are exhausted. You may feel a little bit pressurized because the Seven of Swords, it can indicate, you know, that you have to think quick, that you are on the go. And there is the potential for some of you, not all of you, but some of you may have to either correct a mistake or revisit something, and this may not even be your mistake. There could be someone who's a little bit like how can I put that? They're a little bit scattered in their energy, okay? So it could be that someone misses something and you have to review it over the next coming weeks, and you have to revisit and correct it. It's like you saved the day. People celebrate you for doing it. For some of you, this could be maybe you were on a vacation or you took a day off and someone was actually like covering for you or standing in or supporting your role while you were off. I feel this person did not do the job as good as you did. Okay, so, you know, I'm not blowing smoke up here, you know what. Seven of Swords can indicate having to return to something, and the Six of Cups is also a return card. So I definitely see here that some of you are needing to correct something, and the majority of you, Page of Cups, it just feels like this person doesn't have the experience that you do in the role, so they just miss something that, you know, you would normally catch. Okay, so that's coming up. Now, of course, if you're someone who is an independent worker, if you're someone who you know, is an entrepreneur, for example, Seven of Swords, I mean, I'm actually hearing something right now. It's a song. Okay, I'm clairaudient, so I hear songs, I see images when I'm scrying at the same time as doing a reading as well. And it's a very famous song. I'm hearing MC Hammer's You Can't Touch This, okay? With the Seven of Swords, this could indicate some intellectual rights. Okay, so if you're creating something, perhaps look into that. But also, I would say if you're like basically starting from scratch and creating something, maybe copyright it, trademark it, patent it. If you're inventing something, for example, because that song, You Can't Touch This, and the Seven of Swords, this could be someone like taking your idea and thinking, wow, that's a great idea. And they may try to get there first, because I see you're very busy with a lot of things. So I would just say, just to safeguard your work. Okay, really interesting that Seven of Swords, as you can see, there's a snake there. So whilst you may feel that there's no change right now, you're going into the next couple of weeks thinking, okay, you know, it's business as usual, things are ticking over. This card is telling me that there is going to be some more independence. And I feel this is about you in some way stepping up or proving yourself in an industry. I mean, ultimately, you're proving yourself to yourself, but I feel you may hear that song that just came out there. I'm actually been given some lyrics with it as well. Cold on a mission. You can't touch this. Okay, so that's very sporadic. I don't feel the sentences like go hand in hand in that song. I feel like I was given moments of that song. cold and on a mission. So yeah, I mean, I definitely see here that you're locked onto your goals. You're going to be very structured, very productive. I mean, cold and on a mission suggests you're going to be very logical. Seven of Swords can indicate, you know, the mind, and you have many thoughts. So I would say this is a perfect time to really compartmentalize, streamline, get really structured on what it is that you need to do. And of course, you know, for some of you, not all of you, I hate giving this message, okay? But for some of you, the Seven of Swords can indicate some sort of breach of confidentiality, maybe even as well. Keep an eye on your possessions in the working environment, especially if people come and go, you know, in your working environment, because there is the potential for an opportunist to just kind of like snatch up a phone. Or, I mean, if you're doing something that's top secret as well, I would like, you know, create a password. Some of you may even be asked to change your passwords over the next coming weeks. If you work for a company, for example, there could be some sort of test that goes on there, you know, to click a phishing link, and I feel like you do not click the link. I feel like you pass the test, for example, but there may be some who do not, and there's a potential for a firewall breach. If you're an independent worker, an entrepreneur, I would say that some of you may be looking at your internet security, for example, with this Seven of Swords there as well, okay? Maybe even changing passwords and things like that. But, you know, the Seven of Swords, this is your protagonist energy, so it can indicate, you know, that you have so much on your plate right now that there is a potential to have to review and kind of like remove some of your to-do list in order to come back to it. So I feel like you're prioritizing what's important at this time and making sure, of course, that you spread your time evenly to make sure that you do come back to something. I mean, the Queen of Wands indicates that you're someone who's passionate, you are forging away, you are magnetizing more opportunities towards you, but I also see that you're getting attention in your industry. So whatever it is that you do, whether you work for a company, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a creative, whether you work in an industry where, you know, it's just business as usual and you are either caring for people or you're providing a service or a product, whatever it is, I definitely see here that you're being noticed in your industry as someone who really stands out, someone who is passionate about what they do, and someone who is destined for the top. You know, this is a very creative card, but it also indicates that you have personable skills where you can connect to people. You're someone who, you know, tries to do what you love, of course, but also I feel like you're going to be very popular over the next coming weeks and months. So whatever it is you're doing, I feel like you're getting a lot of attention. This is a card of being more outgoing as well and having confidence in your skill set. You know, some of you may even decide to create something from a home space. You know, I could definitely see here that this is a time of creativity, lots of new ideas coming towards you. And I'm just getting this energy because of that Six of Cups of duality. So you could be creating something that creates some sort of passive income, or perhaps this is something that you're trying to do, okay? Now, of course, we do have the biker, but it's in the resistance position. So some of you may have been thinking about your working environment and, you know, you crave to do something more, to basically build on whatever it is that you've created so far. You're destined for the top of your industry, or you're destined to reach your goals. And some of you with that Seven of Swords, you may feel that the environment you work in, or even the industry that you work in, is very unfair. Maybe nepotism, maybe you feel like you want to leave, for example. Some of you may be putting your resume out there to find alternative opportunities. I mean, the biker is in the resistance position. So some of you are saying, you know what, I'm going to stay where I'm at right now, okay, but I'm going to shop around. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for new opportunities. And I feel there is going to be one coming on in for you, because anything that's in the resistance position will go into the upright like that. And I feel this is progress, this is movement, but it could be some sort of new opportunity. For some of you, if you work in a company, for example, you could be asked to run an errand, or, you know, be seconded to a different branch. Some of you may even be thinking about working overseas or working in a different branch of wherever it is that you work at right now, because I really get this energy here of you wanting a little bit more freedom in your working environment. You may feel there's a set of rules or regulations that prevent you from really creatively stepping into your power, or really owning your skills, or even migrating your skills. You may feel that you can put your skills elsewhere in a different department or in a different area. You know, even if you're an entrepreneur and you work for yourself, this could be you kind of like setting something up that ticks on in the background, earns you money, whilst you can be a little bit more free, because this is like a card of, of course, freedom there, moving on from something, and, a need for like a more fast-paced environment, which brings better rewards. So some of you could be thinking about retirement or your 401k in a way where you are setting yourself up for the future, but you want to kind of like put, as much as possible into that pension pot, for example, in order to retire early. Some of you may be locked on to dreams and goals like that. I mean, that would be incredible, of course. But, this is a card of being a lone wolf as well. So this is an energy of being independent. So some of you, even if you work for a company, you could be offered a role where it's more standalone, or you represent the company in some way. Or if you're an entrepreneur, it could be that you are someone who is doing something bold and daring that other people in the industry haven't thought about at this time. And that's why it's important, if you're ahead of the game, to patent or copyright or trademark any of your ideas or the projects that you're working on at this time. I mean, it literally says here, enjoy the ride. Also standing up, breaking rules. Of course, you're not doing anything legal. I feel, especially with that Seven of Swords there, I would say if you're thinking about fast tracking or bypassing a step when you're creating a structure or a legal entity, I would say you'll have to revisit, okay? I would say that, with the Three of Cups, especially this particular Three of Cups, as you can see, there's eyes watching there. So I would say that perhaps someone catches a misstep or says, actually, you can't do that. Especially if you're creating a structure that's legal, I would say get advice from someone who's done it before, or, if you want to do it on your own, of course. I mean, because the biker is in the resistance position, the energy is suggestive that, if it's something that's really complex, like migrating your business or, perhaps doing some sort of structured legal entity, I would say get advice from someone who's qualified to give it or help you with that structure, okay? But, this is a nonconformist. So it could be that you see something in the working environment, whether you work for yourself or a company, that you feel you're not down with. So it could be something that goes against your morals, or it could be something that you want to dispute, because I'm being given the word dispute in the water right now. I feel this is something that you could challenge in the next coming weeks. I mean, some of you are going to get a review, for example, if you work for a company, and it could be that you're like, okay, I'm in the same position for quite some time, and I was wondering, are there opportunities to staircase in the company or grow in my skill set? Is there an incentive to stay? Because you may be looking further afield at competitive markets and be saying, you know what? I could grow my career elsewhere. I don't want to. I want to be loyal, but at the same time, there has to be an incentive for me to stay in this position. So some of you could diplomatically, because the Seven of Swords, this gets a bad rap, the Seven of Swords, it can be that you may have to be diplomatic in a situation that is quite delicate, because the history of the Seven of Swords is, the figure is removing the swords and the weaponry from the army because they do not want to fight. They actually want to find a really peaceful solution to a situation. So I feel some of you could, vocalize how you've been feeling, that you haven't been moving forward, or opportunities have not been met for you because, your situation there is unchanged. So you feel you're capable of more. You're capable of really shining a light there. And with that Seven of Swords, some of you may feel that it is like personal, right? Because I'm getting an energy of nepotism, so if you feel like you should have got an opportunity instead of somebody else, I feel that, there's some sort of nepotism there, okay? And I actually feel that the universe is sending you an opportunity that is way better than the one that you thought you lost out on, okay? So that's coming out there as well. But, a lot of you with this biker energy, it can be that you want to be more nomadic in your industry, or you want to basically make progress, and you feel like there's no movement at this time. You may feel like your industry is going through some changes, whatever market or, creative endeavor or job that you do. You may feel somehow that you're on the outside looking in, and you just feel like right now you're in the same position and you're just keeping your eyes peeled for other opportunities, because we do have that Page of Cups. It is in the resistance position at first, so it can indicate some of you may be dealing with people who are not as experienced as you, someone who is immature, perhaps someone who's coming in with like this hungry attitude where they're like wanting to change everything and really make a mark for themselves, but they're misstepping, and it's like They cannot fast track things. So I feel that you're someone who has a lot of expertise and you're someone who can call the shots, is what I see. So you may have to diplomatically school someone over the next coming weeks and months regarding the industry that you work in. For some of you, this could also be that you're training someone, whether you're going on a vacation or whether you are needing some extra support. I see some of you could be training people at this time. I'm also seeing someone in your industry who is, I'm just hearing mogul. So obviously someone who is well known, a maverick or a mogul in the industry that you work in, someone who has been really relevant and dominant in the industry may step down from a position and open the door for movement in the industry that you're in. So it feels like a power structure move going on here. So if you work for a company, for example, it could be like a CEO or someone who has been literally part of the furniture for a long time, suddenly decides to leave, and there's a reshuffle in terms of roles available. If you are someone who works for yourself, for example, it could be a major shakeup in your industry where someone steps down or even is hiring people that they would like to train or put on some sort of training scheme as like a shadow worker where they can shadow them. I feel this person could be famous for a lot of you if you're trying to move into like some sort of career where you're in the spotlight, because I do see that you're getting a lot of attention and being noticed in your industry. This could be someone who literally takes you under their wing over the next coming weeks and months and says, hey, I've been watching your work. I really love what you do and I want to elevate you. So come and work with me, or let's create a form of alliance, because you have the Queen of Wands there and the Three of Cups. And this could be like an official letter where you are doing something that you love and something's being offered to you. For some of you, this is a promotion, or it's an opportunity to transfer your skill set. I mean, a lot of you, with the Queen of Wands, I feel like the title or the status is still kind of the same. It almost feels like you're working towards something and you're leveling up towards it, but you're really passionate, you're intense, you're unstoppable in your endeavors. And I feel you're being called to express yourself at this time. So even if you feel like with that Seven of Swords, you're in an environment where you can't really speak up about something, I would say diplomatically speak your truth, because it will be heard. And I feel it will make a difference, okay? Now, the Page of Cups literally means that you're being offered something. Pages bring news. So I would say the next 6 weeks, there is some sort of positive news that comes in that harmonizes your environment in some way. This is a call to follow your bliss. So a lot of you, as I said there, I feel like you are either doing second streams of income. Some of you may be moonlighting or doing something else in order to build your finances. And whatever it is, I feel like you're going to love it, okay? Also, I get an energy that some of you, it may be something that you've been yearning to do for a very long time, but I feel there is an energy of you being given an opportunity, because what I'm seeing here is like the start of either a new project or the start of a new business. Could be something you're launching, could also be a renewal of you loving what you do and suddenly having this extra vitality in order to get all your projects completed, your tasks done. And, you know, I feel some of you may even get an invite from someone that you used to work with, okay? Because there is a Six of Cups here, and I feel this could be like an old alliance that you had. This person may look you up on some sort of business like platform, or it could be that they reach out through social media, for example, maybe even get your number from a third-party person is what I'm seeing there, and they want to get in contact because they've been thinking about you for an opportunity. So I feel at the end of April into May, I would say expect the unexpected. There's a lot of good news and opportunity available to you, and I feel some sort of proposal or opportunity is going to be offered where you grab it with both hands. And I feel this is about you kind of like delighting in this opportunity and feeling that, you know, everything is possible. It just feels like the universe is now giving to you after a period where you've been working like super hard. I mean, a lot of you are exhausted, and it can be that you're just like business as usual, keeping things running. You're almost like on autopilot, even though, you know, you're really busy. When we do something time and time again, and it is repetitive, it actually means that you're a pro at what you do. You're someone who, you know, doesn't even have to think about it. You're just doing because you're so good at it. And I feel like you have mastered a craft here in some way. But with that Page of Cups, some of you may be thinking about doing something in a different like, I wanted to say genre. So this could be a different style or music, for example, if you're creative, but it could also be that, you know, in a different path or a different industry, but you may be migrating skills in order to basically have a fresh new start. Not like a course correction, because, you know, when we basically evolve from a position and feel like we've come as far as we can in a certain industry or certain role, it can be that there's a need for change, a need for evolution. So you're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience. A lot of you, you know, you're leading with passion. I mean, you do have the Nine of Swords here. It's in the resistance position at first. So this can indicate that some of you may be recovering from a very challenging time, or you're relieved that perhaps, you know, there has been a mistake, but you managed to cover it and actually you saved the day. So I do feel that this is a card of relief there for you, okay? Some of you may have been swamped with work recently as well, overwhelmed with a lot going on. I feel like your mind is pretty much like nearly burnt out. So just give yourself some good quality rest. A lot of you could be working towards a vacation or even a staycation, just a little bit of a break. It actually resets your energy and you come back with lots of new ideas there as well, okay? Now, this card, it literally means, you know, overriding a fear and moving from fear to possibility, a call to faith. So I definitely see here that, you know, there are new things and new possibilities on your horizon. So something new that comes in, it feels a little bit more kind of like different, a little bit more bold, a little bit more daring, a little bit more maverick, a little bit more sort of like edgy is what I'm seeing there, and it can make you feel a bit nervous because it is a new start. Okay, so for some of you, this could be a new person coming into your industry, or someone who is trying to shake up the way things have always been. I'm being given the word reform, okay? So it could be that, you know, you're a little bit anxious as to this change and you're not sure how it's going to work, but actually looking at the energy, the Six of Cups, you return to a better way of working, a more enjoyable, fulfilling way of working. You know, I feel like you meet your expectations. I feel, you know, that the bigger picture indicates there's better, prosperous outcomes here. You know, you have the Universe card, which basically means opportunity. It's in the hands of the universe, suddenly out of nowhere. You know, you're open to receive, and the universe is matching your vibration. So you're very passionate. I mean, on that Queen of Wands, there's lots of stars. So I'd say that you're not just working super hard. I feel like you're wishing for something. You're aligning yourself with something there, and you're passionate about what you do. And I feel on a personal level, a lot of you are keeping tabs on your financial structure. So you know, that Queen of Wands can indicate that some of you are wanting to treat yourself, maybe some sort of purchase that you've been saving for. I definitely see there with that Seven of Swords, shop around, okay? Because you may actually really love the product, but you could either notice that it's like way overpriced, and you may really want that product, but you're like, oh, it is really overpriced. I feel like you can get it a better deal elsewhere. Or this person is overpricing it because, you know, some extra hidden kind of like fees are in it to kind of cover their business, of course. But I feel it's unfair on the consumer. So what I'm looking at here, of course, is you kind of like looking elsewhere, or even bartering, okay, negotiating a better deal. And that's, of course, also in salary. So some of you with that Seven of Swords, a diplomatic kind of negotiation going on where there could be a back and forth. So if you're going for an interview for something, for example, and, you know, that dreaded question, so what kind of salary are you on at the moment? Or what kind of salary are you looking for? Always, you know, hedge your bets at asking for more than you're actually expecting, because they will negotiate you down rather than you trying to negotiate them up. Normally people, you know, when they set a price, it's hard to like budge them to negotiate up. So I always say, make sure you ask for more, you know, and they will negotiate you down, and then they feel like they're in control of giving you what, you know, is finalized in the end, when really you got the great deal, okay? So just watch out for that. For some of you, this is just coming through there as well. I'm seeing this energy of some of you may purchase something in the next 6 weeks and you may have to return it, but you may also have to fight for the money back, okay? This person may try to ghost you, or like may try to like go off grid a little bit. I feel like, you know, for some of you, you may even have to enlist a third party in order to get involved. So if you're buying from a social media platform, check reviews, you know, I would just double check things, because Seven of Swords, you know, with the Nine of Swords and the Three of Cups, it can indicate that you may have to enlist someone to be an intermediary to say, hey, look, this is not cool. Or you may have to approach your financial institution, for example, to stop a payment or give a chargeback, for example. So that's coming through there as well. But this card is literally about being awakened. It's about being connected, looking at your position from a higher perspective, the bigger picture. So, you know, a lot of your kind of energy is compartmentalizing your time, focusing on the most important things, but also seeing the bigger picture. You're working towards a goal right now, and I definitely see here that you're going to reach your goals, and there is going to be some extra luck that helps you in that process. But I feel this is about you being open to more, you know, using your creative force and recognizing that there is a time and a place for opportunity. And I want you to notice your numerical synchronicities here, because you have 3 sevens here. You have, well, you have a 3 of Cups and a 6 of Cups there. You have double 6, actually. Yeah, my guys are saying that there's 2 more matches, but I couldn't realize what they were. And it's actually double 6 and treble 7. Okay, these numbers may be relevant, but the 6 of Cups is a card of like nostalgia, shall we say, the memories. And it can be that you're yearning for some sort of like opportunity, or something's being offered that reminds you of a position that you used to do, that you used to absolutely love, okay? Now, there can't be changes all the time in an industry. So it could be like a new computer software program comes in, or some sort of way of working is returned to that you used to love. So if, you know, people are trying to bring in new maverick like AI or some sort of like computer hardware or software or something into your industry, even if you've tried something out, some of you may actually return to the original because it works better, or it doesn't glitch as much, because that 7 of Swords can indicate some of you may encounter some sort of internet kind of outage or a computer glitch. I would save everything down, so just be a little bit mindful of that. But the 6 of Cups basically indicates balance and opportunity, and the universe often pops in and offers you something. So I feel for some of you, it's going to be on a level where you're offered a promotion or an opportunity. I mean, the promotion energy, I gotta be honest with you, a lot of you with that 3 of Cups, it feels like you're celebrating, but the Queen of Wands is a pretty kind of like high status anyway. So it could be an incentive to earn more, or it could be some sort of like opportunity where the salary is kind of the same, but you will staircase later on, okay? Especially since we've got the no change kind of energy. I just feel a lot of you, it just feels like a sidestep, or maybe you kind of like exploring a new avenue, but somehow you're on the same plateau there. Doesn't mean you're not going to rise further. I definitely see you are, but I just see for the next 6 weeks, it just feels like things are like on a trajectory of familiarity, okay? Now, of course, 6 of Cups energy indicates, you know, meeting up with somebody from your past. So someone that you know or used to work with, I do see they have an opportunity for you. I would also say just be a little bit mindful, because this 7 of Swords is really drawing me, okay? This person is really well connected. So if you really do not like where you're at right now, do not badmouth anybody, okay? Don't be negative about your experience. Be diplomatic. The 7 of Swords is saying talk about things in a professional way, because it may go back to the person or the source of who you're talking about. This person, whilst they really like you and they are, you know, talking to you and really wanting to elevate you, I feel like they're really well connected. They know a lot of people, and this person can be, you know, a little bit gossipy. So just be mindful that anything that you say in a negative way is going to go back to that person. Now, of course, if you want that to go back to that person, then, you know, it certainly will. But the better kind of path would be to address it with the person face to face if you have an issue with a person, because that's more professional and it can be resolved in a more friendly fashion, let's put it that way. But Six of Cups is something being offered, you know, for your gift. So it indicates a message that's going to bring you peace. I feel like you're going to be remembered for something, your legacy, but also I feel like you're kind of like connected in some way. There may be some sort of networking opportunity, or there is some sort of group where you are recognized for your talents and kind of like celebrated for something that you did. So it could be that, you know, if your company wins a deal, it could be that you were the integral linchpin to getting that deal, and people go, you know what, congratulations everybody, but you know, Leo, you really like took it home. For some of you, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, it could be that you're a leading component in your industry where people are like, whoa, Leo is one to watch. We need to see what Leo is up to because they're on the rise. Your star is rising. That's what I see there. And the Three of Cups, as I mentioned, is celebration. So I feel you could be like clinking glasses, as it were, celebrating a win, or there's some sort of good news that perhaps you have been working towards at this time. Three of Cups is also, you know, you kind of like helping someone or giving someone a piece of information. So I do feel that you will share some knowledge, or you may actually give someone like a hot tip, or maybe you've even done that in the past and this person is going to return a favor, because I'm seeing a return of energy there as well. Now, also, for some of you, because I'm just getting an energy here, and we are in a very sort of like technological age. Seven of Swords and Three of Cups, sharing of information or data. Okay, I mean, some of you, it could be that you find out someone is taking your contacts, or it could be that you find that some sort of like website or person has taken your data in some way. You know, I feel it will be rectified, it will be corrected is what I see there, but you may have to connect to like customer services or connect to some sort of like third party kind of intermediary service where you like get them to disconnect it or investigate it. I'm being given the word exploration, so they'll explore it further and like shut it down. So that's so random. That sort of thing does not come out in my readings often, but I'm not sure who I'm picking up on, so I have to honor it because it's coming through there. But ultimately, no matter what industry you work in, something is being offered to you that you will celebrate that is good fortune and good luck. And it is sudden. You know, the Wheel of Fortune is prosperity coming in. And, you know, of course, prosperity and opportunity can be easy come, easy go. But I do feel like you have been working really hard. You know, you've been in the same place for some time, and now it is a time for change. And I feel these are lucky changes that are going on for you. Some of these changes may feel like a gear shift at first. So it may feel unfair or extra work, or it may feel like a little bit clunky, but when you get together with the energy and you realize actually it's going to benefit you long term, I feel like, you know, you'll be a little bit more open to it. Humans, we don't like change unless we are in control of the changes. And I feel like you are someone who has a lot of power and a lot of clout in your industry, even if you feel like you don't. I feel like you're someone who's super passionate and you're very gifted and talented. Some of you are actually going to hear from someone who wants to work with you or collaborate. These two cards are collaboration cards, so I see that heavily starred for a lot of you, especially if you're in a creative industry. Now, collaborations can be in many different forms. For some of you, it could be like a friend who wants to collaborate. It could be a business partner if you're in a business partnership. For some of you, it could be a platform, like a social media platform, where you're connecting to that social media platform and you're formalizing a partnership. You may like apply for something and get the thumbs up that you're going to get a deal with this, or, you know, you have a creative alliance. For some of you, it could also be you have friends in high places and, you know, you're being offered some sort of opportunity here to collaborate in some way. It could also be that you're going to be a consultant on something for some of you. And, you know, for some of you, if you're a writer, for example, it could be that there's a publishing deal here, you know, like a manager, intermediary, or some sort of like company that is the like in-between person who gets you on the market or gets you in the public eye in some way. That's something that's coming out there as well. But that Wheel of Fortune, I feel it is a turn of good luck, and you worked really hard for this. So whilst it may feel like no change right now, that things are stagnant or static, or you're just like having things tick over and you're exhausted, I do see some good things coming in your future, and you worked really hard for this. I mean, looking at the energy, you have no pentacles here. So doesn't mean you don't have any pentacles. It just means that you're passionate about what you do. You care about feeling fulfilled in your industry. And the Three of Cups can indicate that, you know, when you are someone who either gets a bonus or when you earn a significant amount of money, you share it. It could be you share it with your family, you share it with your nearest and dearest by treating them, for example. But I will pull some cards just to see about Pentacles before I go to the final deck. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Anything more about Pentacles? Can you show me about money for my beautiful Leo? We have the King of Pentacles. Oh, okay. So my guides are like right on it. They're like, you're multiplying your wealth. You're attracting opportunities. You're serious about your financial structure. You're planning. Okay. I feel like you're actively, thanks so much. I'm so grateful. My guide said, well, we gave you the song. You can't touch this. Some of my beautiful Leos are actually portioning off a part of your money that you can't touch. So that's something that I missed that my guides are giving me right now as well, okay? But the King of Pentacles, as you can see, so many eyes there, okay? I feel this is about you being very focused on your money at this moment in time and attracting opportunities to manifest more. You're working really hard. I mean, this is a card of being serious. It's business as usual. You're ambitious. You know, you're being really practical with your money. You're very intelligent. You're creating some sort of financial structure and you are a reliable leader. I mean, you've got the Queen of Wands here and it's going to a King of Pentacles energy. So this can either be a person who has a lot of wisdom or knowledge, who is going to offer some sort of training scheme or some sort of apprentice energy or wants to help you out in some way. Because I feel a lot of you have friends in high places. And some of you may not even know that. There may be someone from your past who's done rather well for themselves and they have a specific job that they need doing and they think about you. And that's why you are going to meet with someone perhaps from your past there. But that King of Pentacles could also indicate people eyeing your money. So just be a little bit mindful. If anyone calls up and says, hey, there's been some unusual activity in your financial institution, you may want to like give us your details in order to look a little bit further into some of the activity. Shut down that call, you know, and then find a true source of your financial institution and then like connect to them. Don't give your details. I mean, this is an obvious thing, but because you have the Seven of Swords there, it could be that someone is fishing for data or someone calls up and it seems like a really legit kind of like deal and you're like, something feels off. I would say, you know, if you get the instinct straight away, just shut it down. Same with an email. You know, sometimes there's some really incredible emails that come through and you're like, oh, that looks like it's from my financial institution. And when you really look at either the font of the email or the actual email address, there's like a letter missing or a letter added and you're like, that's not the real thing. So I would just be a little bit mindful of that. But King of Pentacles, it indicates that right now you're in a period of enterprising. You have the ability to build more than what you have right now. And I feel an opportunity is coming in for you, but you're the sort of person where you can find an opportunity anywhere, even when there is no opportunity. You're ready for abundance, you're manifesting right now, and I feel like you're entering into a world of conditions where you're aligning with things for your highest good. And things that you desire, I feel like you're focused on, you're aware of the work that is required, and I feel like you're making things happen, okay? So I'm just going to go and get a trinket. I'm not sure why my guides want me to get a trinket first, but they did. So we have a key, which means destiny, but I'm just going to go and get a final card there as well. I mean, the key to your career is following your heart, doing something you're passionate about. And I want you to see on that key there, there's a little fleur-de-lis, okay? Now this is Aries season and that fleur-de-lis looks a little bit like a ram's head as well. So this is about taking action. So I would say this is a perfect time for you to launch something, allow it to be seen. I feel like it's going to gain a lot of traction. It's going to get a lot of like good comments. Praise is what I'm hearing right now as well. So perhaps promoting your work, perseverance, prudence. I mean, even in another deck, you could have got any card. I'm going to go one more, but you could have got any card in this deck, and all those energies popped up in this reading. And we have counselor. Okay. Some of you may be going into counseling work, or you may actually, you know, talk to some sort of like financial advisor who can help you structure things like generational wealth, because that King of Pentacles came out. But this is the card of persistence. Whatever it is you're doing, you're working really hard, and you are a bright spark, literally like this. And my guide said that at the beginning of this reading. But I feel like you are making waves. You are going to be seen. But I feel there's some sort of idea that perhaps you've been sitting on, or you've been meaning to revisit or get started on or launch. This is the time. The time is now. And it says here, your efforts have not gone unnoticed. Success is just around the corner. And that definitely came out in your reading. Follow through with what you set out to do consistently until you reach your goal. That's something you are doing. Hard work is recognized and required to keep building your finances. And of course, that all came out in your reading so far. We also have prudence. Okay, now prudence, I'm just getting an energy here of, like, as I mentioned, things on your desk, or if you work in a cafe, for example, if you are on your laptop, or if you have any dealings with the public, for example, just be mindful of where you put stuff like your cell phone, laptop, credit cards, things like that, because there may be just an opportunist that came out. So the word prudence is like, just be vigilant. But it says here, don't let the balance of your credit cards get too high. I mean, tell us all that, of course. A lot of you could be looking at repayment and making sure that you don't go above a certain amount at this time. It says, put something aside for a rainy day. I definitely felt that when it was like, you can't touch that. You can't touch this, is what the song was all about. And it says, stay within the budget and start living within your means. Okay. Now, this card, the Queen of Wands, it is a Leo card, my beautiful Leo, but it also is a card where, it highlights that sometimes we like to treat ourselves and have shiny new things. Okay. And absolutely, I'm not seeing you not do that, especially since we have that sunflower right there, which connects straight to the Queen of Wands. But what I am saying here is that I can feel in your energy that you're noticing when something is just overpriced or too high for what it is, and you shop around and you find it at a better price because you're not going over a certain amount or a budget. Sometimes, I always I know this is so silly, but basically, sometimes when I'm driving, for example, and I want a parking space and there's just no parking spaces, I will say to my guides, dear parking angel, could you please help me to find a space? Only if it's an emergency, of course. And then suddenly a parking space appears. I'm like, whoa, there it is. Okay. And also, I will be like, I really love this thing that I need, that's necessary in my life, but I can't afford it right now. So therefore, dear shopping angel, I ask my guides and say, please, one day help me find it at a lower price that's more affordable. And suddenly opportunities for it to be lower in price appear for me. So sometimes I just ask my guides and it just happens, just throw it out there. So if you are needing something, I would definitely say, ask the universe for a lower deal, because you've got the universe card there. But it also says counselor, maybe time for some emotional healing of your own, or release the past. The Six of Cups can indicate a past situation. So if you have had some sort of challenge, or you've been going through some sort of legality with a past working environment, this could be making you feel like a setback in your industry and, keep you stagnant. So I want you to be aware, sometimes, especially if we work in a toxic environment, you need healing from that. I worked in a very toxic environment many, many years ago, and I was always on eggshells, even in the next company, even in the next role that I had, because I was so shaken by all the experiences that I had, but I needed the money, so I stayed, in that toxic experience. But, if you've been going through a very toxic environment, you do need time to protect your energy and heal from those things. It says here, careers in counseling or psychic work or energy healing may appeal to you. You do have an energy card here. You're going to have a lot more vitality. It also says here, your mental or emotional troubles could be blocking your abundance. So some of you could literally be removing some money blocks over the next coming weeks, because we have that Nine of Swords, which is worry. Okay. Now, many, many years ago, someone said to me, I think it's connected to the law of attraction, The Secret. Right. And, I'm not here to advertise anyone's work or anything like that. I didn't do that. But it is something that was of benefit to me. So many, many years ago, basically, I was a little bit worried about finances. And a friend of mine said, read The Secret. And what they do is that they always imagine that they have enough in their bank account. Right. And I was like, okay. And I thought, this is never going to work. Okay. But I kid you not, it started to change the vibration. It started to change how I felt about finances, rather than looking at things from a point of view where I was saying, oh my gosh, I don't have enough. I don't have enough. I'm scared. How am I going to make payment? I actually was like, you know what? I got enough. I'm going to make payment. It's all good. I'm attracting more. It's great. Okay. And things change. I mean, I still work the same. The money will still, like, more or less the same. Opportunities to increase did come in, and just things started working out better. So if you are going through a time where you're a little bit worried about finances, I do see some better luck for you in the future. But a lot of you with that Nine of Swords, you could be changing your mindset and removing a money block regarding your finances, okay? Of course, easier said than done, because when you're in it, of course, you're going to be anxious. But I do see that there are some better things to come here, and I feel like you are creating a strategy that is a winning one for you and setting you up for success. Okay, so I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates, my beautiful Leo. Thank you so much, and love and light.